We're social. Check us out on Facebook.
At Keating Radio.
Once more again, we welcome you to the show at exactly 55 minutes after the hour of 1 o'clock, 4.5 minutes till we take it to Insimbi Yesibini Nogoga Sisizayivala nenkqubo Insimbi Yesithathu. But without wasting any further time, bangabeke nezibonela nani baphulaphula bangabeke namhlanje ke City Radio, according to Children, Child Protection Week, as you can also see, even with the banners, each and everything that's happening here. And I must say, I'm joined also on the other side of town by gorgeous ladies who try get brains and beauty. They go hand in hand. That's exactly what we're talking about today. But without wasting any further time, there's for them to introduce themselves. There's each left and right. Over to you, ladies.
Thank you for this opportunity, Piwe. And my name is ASONELE MELAPI. I am from the NOKWANDA PATOCKA GBVF Foundation. I am the founder and chairperson of such foundation. I'm the regional secretary of the Women's Sector Council. I am the Eastern Cape head of a movement called Bapi Abafazi Movement. And I am now made the IEDF ambassador, as well as I'm in the National Strategic Plan of the President for the NSP for GBV. And I'm a GBV activist, in short.
There's a lot. Over to you, Senior.
Hi guys, I'm STOFILE. I'm actually wearing many caps today. Today, I am a member of NOKWANDA PATOCKA GBV Foundation, as well as a member of Bapi Abafazi Movement. I am working for Lusini Rural Development, which gave birth to Empuma Community News. So I am also a journalist there.
Yes. Yes, lady. It's like, hello, welcome to the show. I think I'm joined by forces. Phenomenal woman, to be exact.
Thank you so much. It's a great pleasure to be here, actually. Yeah. We are invited by a force in ourselves.
I'm happy. Like, you guys don't understand. I'm just so excited.
Oh, thank you.
What led you to start this foundation?
In 2021, October the 4th, to be exact, my sister, NOKWANDA PATOCKA, was brutally murdered by a boyfriend of 4 months in front of 2 children, 2 minors. At the time, Utabatani was 8 years old, as well as Ulunje, which is Utabatani was my sister's daughter, and Ulunje was the perpetrator, Lunganqai's daughter. He has been convicted life imprisonment. GBV now offers, or in fact, let me say now punishes their sentences up to life sentences.
Sure.
So once this tragedy occurred at Kaya, I couldn't cope. I went back to work and I couldn't be there. There was so much that was going through my mind, guilt, anger, a lot of things. Even the weekend that she passed, that Monday, we and my sister were supposed to have gone to King Williamstown back home, basically George Sobabini, to visit her. She was opening her house, hence such guilt of not being able to make it. And Ufuman said that you get a call against Amy on a Monday morning, your sister is late. From then onwards, I quit my job. I started the NPO, and this is where I am now. And fighting for amalungelo wabafazi, abantwana, men as well, is my main objective, because we choose to leave out the men. And they are mainly the perpetrators of GBV. Even though as women we do it, but it's mostly men, and we leave out the boy child, we leave out the men, we leave them out in everything in society. There's no bring a boy child day to work. There's no mentor a boy child. There's nothing for boys. And then we get shocked and surprised or outraged, whereby we need to equip men to take responsibility as fathers. You know, these boy children are growing up without father figures. And that is why most of them turn into drugs and many other things that they're doing, and this needs now to be rectified. Hence, in this Child Protection Week, we're going to have an awareness campaign, but I'm yet to get there.
And I was about to say there's so much like that we're going to be unpacking. Sia, let's talk about the importance of Child Protection Week.
Well, masiqale sibuyele umva kancinci. Well, there have been cases of ukudlwengulwa kwabantwana, children getting raped and killed, as well as balahleke umzali angazaphinda ambone umntanakhe. So le veki yokukhuselwa kwabantwana, it's very important because we as parents siye singabakhatheli abantwana, which is we are violating ilungelo labo, we're neglecting them. So we feel like kubalekile that sibuye umva and siyokhusela abantwana bethu so that they don't go through such things as ukulahleka umntana angaphinda bonakale. Kudala sibone ezi cases on TV kwindaba about abantwana abalahlekayo at the ages of 5 years. So there is really a need of ukukhuselwa kwabantwana. Eyona nto ibalulekileyo apha esithetha ngayo kakhulu ukukhuselwa kwamalungelo abo, because if besiwanakile amalungelo abantwana, I think such things bezingasoze zifane zenzeke. So it's very important that we look at ukukhuselwa kuqala kwamalungelo abantwana, so we can go to ukukhusela abantwana general ke ngoku kuzo zonke izinto abathi go through zona.
Nyansila, we hear of so many cases, especially when reporting on stories as well, sense ukuyova ukuthi umntana ebethunywe evenkileni eyothenga isonka angaze aphinda abuyele endlini. Ibe zizo cases bangaba ke we look at 5-10 years abazali bengenaqosho bangaba ke kwakwenzeke ntoni emntaneni wakhe. So personally ndiyithanda le Child Protection Week because at the end of the day we're raising awareness on amalungelo abantwana. Let's talk about this event that's going to be taking place very soon on the 2nd of June.
Based on the 5 P's in child protection, which is prevention, protection, paramountcy, partnership, and parental responsibility. Those are the 5 P's that revolve around abantwana bethu. So we are now going to be giving awareness to parents and children on their rights and how to tackle the issues, the social ills that they face on a daily basis. You find that abantwana bethu are living in fear and le fear ifakwa ngabazali babo at sometimes. Umntana ureyithwa ngutata lo umzalayo, not a stranger, not an uncle, but utata, biological father. So those are the things now we want to go and educate about MELAPI yaseXhaka, because we have been hearing so many vile and horrific stories and nothing is happening about those cases. So we thought as Unolusini and NOKWANDA PATOCKA GBVF Foundation that there's something that needs to be done. And we find that Upper Eastern Cape, siyazilibala kakhulu, and they are where our underprivileged people mostly reside. Because mostly in the locations, in rural areas, and these rural areas is singayiyo kuzo. And I was just having a debate the other day. The city, I find it so strange that when COVID happened, government had everyone's number. Even abantwana ngoku abanefoni bebefumana SMSs uthithi befumana SMS ethetha ngeCOVID. But how is it now that when we want to build awareness on things that matter for our people, that develop our communities, abanazi inamba zethu, abakwazi usixelela ngemithetho nje child protection? If kule veki bekumaba kunkintsha ezifonini zethu amacebiso, indlela zoprotect abantwana bethu, how to open a case for umntana, how to get social development on the line, or whatever that is needed to assist children. Where are women shelters? All the information that the community needs. Asifuman, and it makes me feel that why are we sifted izinto esizinikwayo nesingazinikwayo kodwa i-capability ne-resources zikhona. Sizibonile ngosiba ugovernment uyakwazi usixelela ngeCOVID naselalini. So kutheni ngoku naselalini kungafiki information ebalulekileyo kwabantu? I am yet to get that answer, but I'm hoping by this interview and the people listening, we will be able to see change.
Definitely. Whenever I do interviews, I like to to certain departments and to certain stakeholders abantu abakwi-positions that they can actually help. Dethanda how you mentioning that during COVID-19, I think I would probably get about 5 messages per day on a constant regular basis.
Exactly.
COVID to a point I was just like, yo, ezinye izinto apha soze ufumane SMS as remind about the importance of certain things. Child Protection Week, akho kwanto.
Nix.
Nothing at all. You go to social media, uyawubona xa ufaka lo hashtag, a couple of pictures, a couple of videos, but abantu abaninzi don't know what Child Protection Week is about. Nokuba ngaba ke ikweyiphi inyanga ethile, nokuba ngaba ke each and every year we've got a certain theme that changes from time to time. It's people like you, when ASONELE kwakunye noSiya, that I'm grateful that we have in our communities to instill kuthi bangaba ke singalibali bangaba ke kukho abantwana that need protection. Children who are afraid to talk kwasesikolweni ibe kanti kwasekhaya zimbi izinto ezenzekayo. So having you ladies on board, having this event, I pray to God ubangaba ke bakhona abantwana that will come up to you noma ukrwecile ezawuthi ucela uba anonymous akwazi uthetha umntana ubangaba ke ndiyahlupheka kakhulu emphefumulweni. Where can I go to get the help that I personally need?
Yeah, and with those situations, our former great man, Nelson Mandela, said, we owe our children, the most vulnerable citizens in our society, a life free from violence and fear. You know what, that it resonates with me because ihlobo esenza ngalo asibacebisa abantu. Abantu abazazi indawo funeka baye kuzo. Naxa befikile kweza ndawo bathunyelwe kuzo, bafikele kobuso obudiniweyo, ubuso obunganankathalo, umuntu ofuna uye elantshini kodwa usuka kwiti, ufika into yobana ifowuni azitholwa, akukho ncedo. So it's one of those things that, yes, siyabathumela abantu sithi iya ku-social development, iya kwi-NPO ethile, iya kwindawo ethile, but ufumaniseka aba bantu baqeshelwe unceda kanye aba bantu bathi bafuna unceda. No, dololo. Victims zibuya zisiza kuthi zikhala ikhesi yam ayihoywanga, le ayihoywanga, kubekiselaphi abantwana? Kubekiselaphi abo they have no voice for themselves? Bekumeba bathethelwa sithi bantu abadala, bekumeba bathethelwa sithi bazali babo. Umzali uphi? Usethaveni. Iintanga zam are drinking like no other business, and umzali uphi? Utata uyamphika umntana. Iintanga zam. And I fail to understand, sibadala kandi sizibonile izinto nathi esidlule kuzo. I was fortunate to be raised by 2 parents, but the people that weren't are the ones, yes, repeating that same cycle. And the people that are joining them. So then I understand into about EP. So where did we lose the plot? Especially us that have were born into an era whereby at least the apartheid was not as bad as it used to be, and now it's no more. What are we doing to empower ourselves and to be a part of ubomi babantwana bethu ngokunokwethu, sacrificing social media and spending time with them, literally? Our phones and everything else are our enemies. Social media is our enemy. The streets are our enemies. Everything is our enemy right now because we are focused on things that do not uplift us, nor our children or our future children.
Yeah, that's true. Eyona aim when I pin is that upper we're trying to teach abazali kakhulu. I think I have received cases kwi-inbox yam about umzali obetha umntana adumbe every day. And ke ngoku you go back kwinto yokubana njani mosikubuhlungu mosubethwa wena umdala. Inoba lo mntana una 5 years ubethwayo ngomzali wakhe, uva njani xa edumba adadumbe? And ke ngoku le case ifika kum ngenye imini kuthiwa lo mntana ude agqithwe nakule transport ayikhwelayo because ufika exercise what umama ke ayenzayo endlini, ufika abethe abanye abantwana, which is not right, uyabo. And abazali abaninzi banento yoba hayi umntana andim-abuse ndiyamqeqesha, which is ngoku we have to talk about such things ke ngoku. We have to go back and talk about such things. Umahluko phakathi koqeqesho umntana kwakunye nokuba abuse umntana. Eyesibini case bayalwa umama notata, abantwana babalekele esitratweni because now abona abantu bekusuppose babalekela kubo ngabazali babo bayalwa, which is also into embi. umntana uyafika esikolweni uyakhala kusasa because phezulu umama notata balwile and bona bekufuneka babalekele esitratweni komeza ukuyofuna uncedo ba nanku utata ebetha umama. And into embi ke ngoku kuyo yonke le nto is that umama akaphumi kule relationship.
No.
Akacingeli abantwana aba babini. What if something happens to her? Bazawuthini abantwana? Hence, with the partnership with uNolsini and NOKWANDA PATOCKA is that Tina, the organization enguNolusini Rural Development, iya establishwa ukufocusa kakhulu kwi-sport, art and culture. Kuba sibona urhulumente akajonganga kwi-rural areas when it comes akadevelop. But we cannot develop abantu abahlukunyezwayo, abantwana abahlukumezekileyo. Now we have to go back and zuyokujonga abantwana. We have vulnerable children. Abantwana aba-ethe, they are broken because of umalume ubeka ukutya phezu kwetafile uyamdlwengula. Umama akakwazi uyithetha because bazawuphulukana nokutya okubekwayo ngumalume phezu kwetafile. We have such cases whereby umntana uyakhala kumama, ustepfather uyandihlukumeza, but uthi uzandihlukanisa nomtshato wami if I do speak about this thing. So now size ebantwini ke ngoku, and asizisedwa, we have invited the stakeholders. Makhe bazidubule enyaweni ngokwabo, makhe bazimise ebantwini ngokwabo. What are they doing ukuprotecta amalungelo abantwana qala, ukuprotecta abantwana? Because now mna ndihlukunyezela umntana andiyazi noba mandiqale ekliniki okanye ndiqale ndiye epolice station. I think sikhe sayilandela icase yomntana oye wathi ebekidnetshiwe wabalekela ekliniki wathunyelwa ikliniki epolice station wasweleka kuyo yonke loo nto leyo, which is ke ngoku sifuna because kaloku abantu, yeah, it happened eBhayi. Abantu basezilalini ke ngoku ubekusela kubantu basezilalini. We have social development. Till now we have cases ebekhe saziripota kuye. Unontlalontle kakenzi into till today.
And you know, xa sithethe izinto iba ngathi silwa i-departments okanye asikho appreciative ngento, but siyazama ubuilda ubuhlobo nabo, siyazama ucela ii-partnerships nabo, sizifumane ngamazwi ezi partnerships. Then xa sizisi-case sithumela from pillar to post, kuthiwa thetha no-low circuit manager, thetha no-low circuit manager, athi omnye yho wathini la sisikanene, wathi yena uyoyika kanye wathini ngosasimthumela kulaa lali,
wathi uzaphinda acela imoto uyoyika that angagibiselwa ngamanzi ashushu.
Thina sisiya njengobuso, siya singena protection, siya singena mix, siya singenayo ne-funding phofu, but siyaya. To tell you the truth, mna noSiya, we are not funded. NOKWANDA PATOCKA GBVF Foundation is not founded based on solely that asina certificate. Abantu bayafuna usinceda. Social development, it's been almost a year ndilindelena neso certificate nkqi usifumane. So how do you expect ke ngoku if government is failing on its own, ke ngoku thina sithi sizama unceda, sizawuthina ungafeyilishi thina singena capacity to and the resources to thrive and to help them, because all we want to do is to assist them. But now we do not have the resources to do such. And I find that we always look at sometimes abazali. Yes, abazali have the greatest fault, but sometimes mama is in a relationship whereby she's already naye a victim. Sekusiwa nje kumntwana uqalwe ngaye, sephuliwe, and i-abusers first break your spirit, your mind, and your soul before baqalise ukubetha wena. Bathi bese begqibile ke ngoku ukubreaka bekwenza into yoba uxhomekeke kubo, nokuba unxibe kakuhle, noba umhle, kanye uyakwazi nokuphefumla lo moya uphefumlwa nguye apha endlini. They control you and they manipulate you and they break you. So umama ke ngoku yena kunzima ukuzinceda kwayena, so ubekuselaphi intsana ezi zakhe. But ndiphinde ke ngoku ndithi ngokunokwam, sometimes nathi before we get to that stage of being a victim, we are too trusting. We are too inviting. We are too desperate for relationships. Especially umntu akakwazi uhlala yedwa. Umntu uzawuthi eqala udibana nomntu sihlalisana. Sicinga umtshato ne-stranger. And we find that as a stranger becomes isgebenga. Look at my sister. She's a clear example. She wanted love, appreciation. She was a divorcee and lonely, back in South Africa. She was international. She was a woman of a high caliber. But lonely back and whatever else. And wanting to build okay, you know what, this guy is showing me promise, and look where that ended up. And in the trust, and in a way that such a violent act in front of nolo wakhe umntana. But wayenza regardless, abantwana bebentanda nabo esitratweni bekhangelana uncedo bekhutshwa ngusista wami ngefestile. The most painful ordeal for both those children.
And you know, when it comes to those certain ordeals, you'll find that as you grow up, so mdala, you're in your 20s or in your 30s, something is going to be stuck at the back of your head that will be a constant reminder as a who traumatizer. I've once spoken to a mental health specialist. You know, when we grow, you find that, you know, in certain relationships could be romantic, could be family, could even with friendship. But repetitive. It's something that had happened to you, something that you never got over. You've mentioned you don't even get counseling. So I've got so many. I've got so much to talk about. I have so much to talk about. You know, because I also want to find out, especially again, who are stuck. I want to use the word stuck in this relationship because we've mentioned there's a data that I've actually highlighted. You have this person will, number one, start to control you. Number two, start to manipulate you. And number three, you mentioned they'll start to break you. Process, there is a possibility that you can leave. How can those parents leave those relationships?
Firstly, it's identifying that you are in an abusive relationship. Admit because that's when you will start to look for options of help. And you will seek help either from the Department of Social Development. You will seek help from police officers. Obviously, you have to first open a case, depending on what type of abuse. And let's not forget, there's many types of abuse. And emotional. So emotional, aina proof. And emotionally, so breakage, perpetrators because every dog has its day. But zimane escape ngoba ziyayazi injoba umthetho wethu sometimes is lazy to investigate domestic violence cases. Uzovela kuthiwa xa kuyokuziwe mhlawumbe ufonile and unale case kuthiwe ithethani mediated ingeyosapho ufika i-police officer ixelela loo nto wena uyakhala ukrwempekile kanye awunanto ibonakalayo awunamaduma but ukhe waqhwatywa apha endlini, and of which no one has the right to touch anyone in any relationship in any place, and akho mntu unelungelo lokwenza any type of abuse. Iyabanjelwa. That is why kukho imithetho, but you find that ke ngoku xa umntu eze nezi cases zinje azihoyo kwaseqaleni. So I would advise any listener right now who is listening to contact the NOKWANDA PATOCKA GBVF Foundation or to contact Ubaphi Abafazi movement. There's that to go all out of their way to help victims. I won't take away from them, but if you know of any NPOs in your area, but if that fails, please do contact us because we take GBV seriously. For me, it's personal. For me, it's very personal because usister wam wasweleka but zangasweleke yedwa. Walandela utata wam emva kwakhe, he died of a broken heart, engakwazi uyamkela le nto emehleleyo. Walandela usister wethu omnye uAyanda naye ngezakhe emotional abuse which can't be proven. You understand? And longing for the person who has died, who used to help her close such relationship. So this for me is very personal. I make sure I go all out. I make sure but all I know is that God is there for me and God is providing for me every day. Dinasi fans ophuma ndiye ndingazazi nam sometimes ndisithathaphi but uThixo ungumncedi and he keeps on funding me ngendlela yakhe engcwele. And I implore and I hope that there are people listening here also in the NPO registration department to make it easy for us as people who want to register NPOs. CIPC is winning at registering companies. Why can't NPOs be registered the same? Why can't you just have a period of not more than 7 days for Baufman certificate?
Yes.
There are people with eCreech, there are people with other NPOs, but nabo ubi. And they're only doing it because they have the passion. So any victim or any parent or anyone that needs advice, that needs help, your first start is the police station. Your first start is with government facilities that are there for you to get assistance. Your first start is also Department of Health, clinics, SAPS, police stations. They're supposed to have social workers and counselors at those places. They're supposed to have abantu abazomnceda. And I wish that social development or Department of social development, with SAPS and the Department of Health, I wish they would merge
Together.
when it comes to cases of victims. They would have one unified approach, a holistic approach in assisting people, especially also the disabled. Because when you find that we are especially clinic, police station, disabled. Because we only think of disability in mobility. As it's in the site, is deaf, is speech. We always only look at mobility that I disabled. We catering for bangena qale queen, but xa befika pha wa amapolisa kanye nurse uhlekiswa kwangabo, which is painful. Ufumaniseke ngokumla umuntu uyaba ebelixhoba le-abuse because akakwazi uvula case. So I implore the people that are listening today, asilwinani, sizama unenzela isazela, sizama unibonisa into yobana sikhona as NPOs, aniscapacitate, anisincedisi, anisifandi, and ke kunzima wawuvula ne-bank account ungena certificate.
Sichukumisa izazela namhlanje. Sichukumisa izazela. Sijongene nexesha. Let's talk about positive things.
Yes.
Future events that are going to be happening.
Before we close this one, the
Yes.
awareness campaign that we will be doing at Kaka, we have stakeholders that will be coming. CGE will be there, Department of Social Development, Department of Health, the NPA, Department of Justice, and SAPS. We are hoping that, and other NPOs that we have invited that work in the area, we are hoping that these stakeholders will come now equipped to try and make a change in the rural areas as well as Kaka. Especially Ikaka, because inezikhalo ezininzi. There are child-headed homes there, and abuse recycles itself. Xa kungekho mkhondo okanye umntana ebona ebukela ezinto zenzindlela, as Usia said, uya azirepite kwabanye abantwana, and later on azirepite kumuntu omdala because ukhule ecinga fanuba right. And la trauma engakhange counselishwe, it gives birth to other things. And then with our positivity side, we have, since I am the newly appointed ambassador of IDF, yes, girl. Yes, IDF Gayona, it works in helping and assisting SMMEs, informal sector, informal traders as well, in getting funding and in getting opportunities as and their businesses. We are still trying to assist the NPOs. Since I've just newly come, I'm trying to get them into the NPO sphere now. But for now, they help you to access training programs. They help you to access funding opportunities. They help you to access business support, access network and events. They also help you to access special projects, as well as access to government business support services. And this event will be happening on the 6th and the 7th of July. It will be starting in Port Elizabeth, Egqeberha. Because that is where I reside. And then izawutyhutyha into the Eastern Cape and the other neighboring towns. As soon as we start that campaign in the Eastern Cape, ndizawungenisa ke ngoku kwezinye iitowns zalapha ephondweni. Into endiye ndayiqaphela when I started this NPO, akekho umuntu ozayo ozolanda i-Eastern Cape. Siye siphume siyoba zizitars komaJoburg, Cape Town, Durban. Silibale ngento yoba kuqhubeka ntoni emakhaya. So I think now for me, the esasehlo sikaNokwanda was a wake-up call. Into yoba i-Eastern Cape needs development. And andiqali ukuzisa into ngale into. I tried to bring a learnership to the Buffalo City Metro. And it didn't work out based on our applications. And that is why ndifuna uyimentionisha le nto namhlanje. Bethuna xa sisithi nantsi into, fakani i-CV kanye fakani i-documents kanye fakani. Nam ndizoncedisa nina. It's not mine. It is ours. It is mostly yours because I'm helping my community, you. And go, I would like and I implore you to please apply because kindness qualify for the event and the applicants are notified. They have their emails that were sent to them. But I'm just telling the community at large. Into yobana masingayilindi into idlule sifuna ufaka i-CV mva after a closing date. The closing date yenzelwe isizathu. And after a closing date, there's nothing I can do because I don't own the project. But now this is something totally different that IEDF is bringing. And now I do not need you to submit anything. You just need to come as isiqu sakho and come and listen to the opportunities that we will be offering on the day. The 6th at Feather Market Building, at Gavenbeki Avenue in Gabeja. That will be the first event. And on the 7th, a Love Life Building, Wanobuhle Etinacha. And this IEDF is going to help us. It's going to help our communities develop. It's going to help us find fundings. It's going to help us find business solutions. It's going to help us network with one another so that we are each other's solution in business sense. And also they have key partners that are very vital to what they are bringing. The key partners are USIFA, CEDA, SARS, ABSA, NYDA, Legal Aid, eLearn South Africa, Brand Boss, SEAT Academy, SALC, Standard Bank, WRCTA, and the Department of Labor. To register our companies to be right. And also, I'm offering people who are coming who can't afford to register their companies. I have a company called Ayabandu Tax Consultants, which we do bookkeeping solutions and bookkeeping assistance financial services for companies. So I am employing people who are coming and are not registered. I'm offering my services pro bono to register you. Amazing. You only will have to have the 170 IPC and the services that I offer will be for free.
Stunning. Hades, thank you so much for joining us namhlanje and all the best for the future. Social media. Please talk about social media handles. Please, sneak.
Yes, I'll see you again.
All right. Okokuqala mandibulele ngokubana sibe lapha ngosifuna namhlanje, hoping that all the stakeholders as mentioned usisi are going to be there ngobuninzi babo. And ndiyafuna ubulela ukhansila walaward ngokuzikhupha because when we got there to in the Sobi primary uninzi lwabantwana izihlangu zikrazukile, so wathembisa into ukuze baphathele abantwana izihlangu. So ndiyabulela kakhulu nakuye uW Gametse wasedimbaza othe uzawusponsorisha nge-sanitary towels. So siyabulela kakhulu ngabantu abasekuhlaleni apho are willing to help us thina abantu bangenayo i-funding. Mna ungalandela usiyaphumla for now, usiyakuphumla Stofile Kandamase inkosazana on my Facebook page because okwangoku I'm not sure if ngizobiza, but there with Facebook page uzawufumana khona all the details kanolusini product development apho kuzabe website yakhe apho kuzabe kupostwe everything about the event that will be happening on the 2nd, which is Friday ngo-11. Ingasabantu baphumelele man.
Me too, yes, I hope they do. And also to add on that, ndiyacela bantu bakuthi, if there's any people here that would wish to donate, singavaleli bantu ngaphandle. Siyazidinga i-pads, sanitary towels, siyazidinga toiletries for abantwana because it's girls and boys. Sepa, roll-on, toothbrush, toothpaste, nantoni na oyicingayo, i-grace zabantwana, t-shirts, anything that you'd like for us to have. As well as if you are looking for me, you will find me on Facebook and on Instagram, and we have a YouTube page as well. It's the NOKWANDA PATOCKA GBVF Foundation on Facebook, Nokwanda Patocka _GBVF on Instagram, and Nokwanda Patocka GBVF Foundation on YouTube channel as well. And you can also follow me on Instagram and on Facebook as well, ASONELE MELAPI and ASONELE MEL on Instagram.
Okay, I think mandifake it's for ukulandelelana with our stories, because sabe sipostile nakule phephandaba lethu, which is Empuma. It's www.empumacommunitynews.co.za and www.nolusini-ruraldevelopment.co.za.
And
So
our
it's
WhatsApp
a-
number is 068-345-3482. And for those who also want to approach us in funding us and also approach us in sponsoring Kasisia ezikolweni, asiphelelanga kule event.
Yeah.
Siyaya kwizikolo, siyahamba ne-Youth Correctional Centers, which is formerly known as iKipKip, alithandwa ke elo gama kwa-social development, but it is formerly known siyaya siyobakhuthaza abafana to do better, to change their lives. So they are also in need. Please do donate whatever you can. We would really appreciate it. Thank you.
Xa sayivala bethuna kaloku sivala inyanga enkulu, inyanga yase-Afrika. It was Africa Month. Ingaske sizithuthe just before we close it ke ngoku, please. Mhlawumbi siyazalana ba?
On the spot. That's
On the spot.
What if this is like
ekhaya bandiya ngobandingo siyakuphumla kamva kwaStofile Mamponde noThahlofa kona siqalikazi ongqongqoshe abahlamba ngokuphelele amanzi ekhona inkosazana
And then ASONELE MELAPI umambhele ulanga uqonda umafu. Yes, in this time yes.
Oh, Tina Pabo. Thank you so much once again, ladies, for joining us. Quick time check, it is 31 minutes of Upon Simbias meeting. We have 28.5 minutes to go. This is between the hours of 3 to 6 from me to you. It has been good, it has been lovely, but do catch us as I get